Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for our Tuesday edition video here with USS Massachusetts, here being Tier 8 American Battleship Premium. USS Massachusetts is one of my favorite, among my favorite battleships in the game. I think Ohio might take the #1 place now for myself, but Massachusetts was the first ship I actually paid money for in the game, and back when I started playing in the fall of 2019. And in today's video, the game has gone through a lot since the fall of 2019, now being into the spring of 2023, and posing the question, is Massachusetts still good in 2023? A lot of things, as I said, have happened between 2019 and 2023 in the game development, particularly within over just the last year. But let me talk about real quick what makes Massachusetts so good, and then I'll kind of dive more into that question and how the things have progressed in the game since then. So Massachusetts is American battleship. She's all about the brawling. She's by no means a sniping battleship. Her dispersion is wildly inaccurate when you get to the longer ranges. You know, you'd be frustrated at 14 to the 15 kilometer ranges, I would say at times, where she really plays. She's meant to get in and utilize her 11.3 kilometer secondaries. The secondaries have improved characteristics. They have a really good reload time. And they're similar to what you'd find on the Tier 9 Georgia or the Tier 10 Ohio. So one of the reasons why I liked, picking up Georgia, then picking up later on the Ohio. One of the things that makes her really strong, but beyond just her secondaries, is that her repair party has a 40-second cooldown time on till it comes back up. So often you're able to get the heals off quite rapidly in succession. And then her armor scheme. It is very hard to citadel in Massachusetts. Kind of known, something maybe similar to what the Puerto Rico is known for being very hard battle cruiser to citadel. Massachusetts is also known for being rather difficult to citadel. So all in all, it's really a good battleship. As we get in here, you're going to see us be able to take on this Bismarck in North Carolina here. So overall, just really good ship, and we'll talk about as things go on. You'll see more of this ship in action and why she's so good with these secondaries in particular. So Massachusetts, my story with the Massachusetts it's my most played ship in the game of World of Warships. I used her a lot for the premium credit earning that you get with this ship, and it just was really a good deal for myself playing, and I was quite fun playing with this ship. Now the only way to get it is probably it's only be the Black Friday sales as we pick up First Blood with close quarters, and I'm fishing first the submarine here. But is to get it through the Black Friday sale in the fall. You can purchase the Massachusetts B or the Massachusetts Black, and I think that ship looks pretty decent. So that's the only way I'm aware that you're able to get Massachusetts during that limited time only type of annual sales. So it is a battleship. If you like playing Tier 8, I would definitely recommend picking up if you like brawling. Now the story of how this ship has been progressing in terms of Wargaming's development of the game has been a really interesting one. So last year, those of you who've been playing for over a year now, we had the dreaded Commander rework of 10.0. Wargaming goofed and screwed it up pretty badly, and it took them about 4 months to really settle on things. One of the things that really upset me as a player, especially for enjoying playing a battleships, was within the Commander rework, they nerfed secondaries. So you couldn't even get like the full, originally before the Commander rework, your secondaries would only fire from one side of the ship. Here you see it's firing from both sides of the ship. So they changed where they would fire both sides of the ships, but instead of having a negative 60% dispersion from the one side that fired, it dropped to like 30% or something. And then now it's what they landed on is it takes, I think it's like 45 seconds or something to build up to max negative 60% dispersion. So that was really frustrating, honestly. So it really killed the brawling, but what killed the brawling in particular from the commander rework of 10.0 was the Deadeye skill, because we had a lot of people camping on the BC line because you got that additional negative 20% dispersion if you were undetected when you fired your main battery guns. So you had these ships that, these GKs, Gross Recruit Forces, that, they're brawling battleships, but you had people playing them on the ABC line or the HIJ line, like you would here in this map as an example. And that was super frustrating. This just wasn't good for the game at all. So that really killed brawling a lot, and so it's been really weird to brawl since. And then Wargaming was introducing more overpowered carriers like the Gross Recruit first, aircraft carriers like the FDR. And then we had the Nakiamov, and then they started introducing the hybrid cruisers like Tone, and then hybrid battleships, and now we have the new hybrid battleship line, but particularly submarines. With the commander rework, why would you ever push in a brawling battleship in that meta, right? That was kind of the big thing. And then now you have on top of the hybrid ships in the game, you had Deadeye there for a bit, and then you had submarines in the game, and then you had the Dutch cruiser line. So you would just get bombarded with these HE airstrikes that now destroyers get, like the Trump. And then, of course, the big thing right now, beyond the hybrid ships, is submarines in the game. So here we're in a match of 2 submarines, both of which are on this flank. So that's why I'm playing around this island. We're utilizing both of our secondaries, which we already have. Yeah, I think we're about to hit 300 secondary hits. We positioned ourselves well that our secondaries can work over the North Carolina and work over the Flandre, and that the Fantasque is playing on our secondary range line. So, the question becomes, with this current meta, is Massachusetts still good in 2023? And there's probably 2 ways to answer that question. And let me start off with for myself. I would say that Massachusetts is still a good battleship to play, even in 2023. The challenge is, compared to back in 2019, 2020, it was much easier to push up and brawl. Even the Russian carriers, right, that get these 1 strikes off, and then they have another strike up, because you can never stop the first strike unless the CV player is a complete idiot and just runs into all of your flak from your AA. So it was really easy to push and brawl, I would say, before 2020, 2021 was much more easy to do that. 2022 and now 2023, it's a lot more difficult, where I think even an average player would still do all right with the Massachusetts in 2023, but they're probably not going to find it as rewarding as it was back in the day. Because the big thing is that you have to know how to push. And typically, the easy answer for that is, I'm kind of being cheeky, hopefully I can get this Baltimore. He's being a little greedy, he stopped. And do we get him? Yeah. So, we got a Citadel there. But what I say for brawling battleships in 2020, but beginning to happen in 2022 and 2023, was that you really wait till the battle's halfway over before you can push. So we took care of the North Carolina, we took care of the Flandre and the Bismarck, and only now we're being able to push in, but I'm pushing in against 2 submarines. So Massachusetts only gets, I believe it's a 5-kilometer depth charge airstrike. It was their way of nerfing the ship. And so that's bad. So you basically have to be pushing up in on the submarines, or they have to be pushing you, which now you can see, oh, I figured out, oh crap, they're both over here. This is not good, to deal with them. And so now I have to try to utilize what skill I have to deal with these submarine players. And I think if one of it doesn't have to just be only one of them was really good, I probably wouldn't do so well. Wouldn't follow suit here. So it makes it very punishing as a brawling battleship player in general, just to play in 2023 with all the crap that Wargaming's been continuing to add into the game. That's been a lot of poor decisions. So I'm getting pinged by submarines beneath the surface. I have a destroyer that's kiting, throwing torpedoes, HE spamming me, and then I have two submarines, one on either side of the island here, focusing on me and trying to wreck me. And really the only thing that saves me in this engagement is the fact that Massachusetts has that 40-second cooldown, which you can see I have at 38 seconds. As we pick up Confederate with Halsey here, that's the only thing that's really saving me in this engagement, and being able to avoid those torpedoes in using our damage control party. Otherwise, it's really frustrating, because really, I would say definitely even for Massachusetts and German battleships, is that you have to play around islands. So we're kind of setting the standard of the engagement here. This guy cancer's dead. This guy cancer's dead. And now he's right in front of me. And switching to high explosive, where I need to do that in a minute. You have to play around islands. Otherwise, it's just too much. It's an overload. It's too much a demand on your repair party. It's too much of a demand on your repair party, damage control teams, all that. It's just awful. I would say. So we're actually having a really good game this match, and this was the first time I'd actually taken Massachusetts out in a while. I don't actually regularly play Massachusetts like I used to. It's really fallen by the wayside. I don't play it much since the Commander rework of 10.0. I still do take it out every now and then, and so to answer the question, for myself, I consider myself a more experienced, experienced Massachusetts player. So that's why for me, I still think that Massachusetts is still good, even in 2023. But if you're a newer player coming into the game, you're probably going to find it a very frustrating experience in playing the Massachusetts. Not because the Massachusetts is a bad ship, it's a great ship. It's all the crap that... Sorry, it's been a month since I've watched this battle replay. But all the crap that Wargaming is adding in, leading to a lot of other content creators being frustrated in the community, a lot of players being frustrated in the community, a lot of veteran players leaving the game because they just don't recognize the game that they used to play anymore. When you have the historically accurate added Russian aircraft carriers, and then you have the submarines added into the game, which can still shotgun you, Wargaming. Shotgunning is still a thing. It's still a thing, Wargaming. And then you had hybrid cruisers, hybrid battleships, and I think there's a hybrid destroyer in the works or something, and another premium American hybrid cruiser. And then you have destroyers with the HE airstrike, like Trump. They're going to add more of them. You get stuck in Massachusetts versus top tier, where you're seeing more of these ships with these different gimmicks, like the burst fire, not even of super ships, but of regular tier 10 ships. And that being added to the Spanish cruiser line? Or is that the Pan American? Yeah, Spanish cruiser line is going to be added. And then, of course, I'm not... this isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when Wargaming decides, well, there was a Japanese submarine that had aircraft on it in World War II that existed and attacked, was it Washington? Attacked the West Coast and trying to set a wildfire and maybe a way to pull U.S. resources away from the war. So they're gonna, it's Wargaming. It's only a matter of time before they start introducing submarines with these flight decks, and you operate them probably very similar to the hybrid battleships, cruisers in the game. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when, because that's how Wargaming works. And I think actually I had someone ask me a question maybe regarding for the Q&A video next week on Monday. So I'll share more of my thoughts on that when or then as a whole on that. But it's just harder and harder. You are so much more punished for wanting to be a brawling battleship player in 2023 versus 2020. Like, it's a night and day difference, I would say, in terms of all the crap that Wargaming has added in the form of different ship classes and abominations that shouldn't be in the game. So all said and done, in 2023, is Massachusetts still good? Yes. Is she as fun to play in 2023 as compared to 2 years ago? No, she's not. It's really hard because of a lot of things that are in the game as they are, and you really have to be wise in utilizing how you push and brawl here in the game. And I actually don't know even what happened, because that submarine didn't die and the game ended and we didn't reach 1,000 points. Or was it standard battle? Random battle? Maybe that's what it was. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, it was standard battle, so we capped out. That's what happened, I guess. So a lot of achievements, almost 200,000 damage, 1.6 million credits, so you can see some of the credit earning potential here. General Offensive, Dev Strike, Confederate, Close Quarters, Dreadnought, First Blood, High Caliber. Top of the team with 2,454 base XP with 15 planes shot down. And granted, it's been a bit since I've taken Massachusetts out, so I was actually rather pleasantly surprised that I had such good results. So, and that's just because of my experience in playing this battleship. It's my most played ship in the game, so I kind of credit to how I did so good. Otherwise, I think if I wasn't so experienced in the ship, I probably wouldn't have done so well this game. And then with premium account, you can see how it ended there. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Not so much commentary on my decisions of play there. I just took my time in the brawling battleships, in brawling ships in the game in general. In general, my advice is when you're playing them in World of Warships, unless there's a window of opportunity happens in the first half of the battle, you're waiting to push in to the second half of the battle, where this actually worked out pretty well for me because of the battleships pushing into me, that we were able to get 359 secondary hits. So I didn't actually have to do much work there. We just kind of sat with our secondaries from the starboard and port side, firing on the enemy battleships, and using our main battery guns as well. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you wanted to give me your thoughts on just brawling in the game as is, or if you like playing Massachusetts, how do you find playing Massachusetts in 2023? And maybe we can have a little bit of a discussion about that in the comments below. So thanks for watching the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.